it could sometimes feel for us that we're just working on our little book list and it seems very small in the whole scheme of things. And when you scale up the whole gender equity argument from picture books to domestic violence, it seems like an awfully long way to go. My name's Sarah Hopkins and I'm the Customer Experience Manager for Eastern Regional Libraries. I've been involved in a collaborative project to pick out and promote children's books that challenge gender stereotypes and tell stories about children being themselves rather than following patterns that might be determined by whether they're male or female. So often things that don't really have a gender are still gendered in children's books. So the robot is a male, but the butterfly is a female. And that really opens your eyes to how often that happens. This year we looked at books for older children, so really designed for kids at primary school who are probably reading to themselves or might be having a book read to them each night, chapter by chapter, so longer stories. Last year the books we focused on picture books and we called the project Beyond Sparkles and Superheroes because so many books for young children and older children are already packaged up for girls or for boys. They look different and they have different sorts of stories and those stories are very conventional. So we look for books that challenge that. My favourite one is called Tough Guys Have Feelings Too, and every page is a drawing of a superhero, and one day the superhero is feeling sad and the other day he's feeling mad and the next day he's feeling scared, and so he goes through the gamut of emotions that everybody does as well as being a superhero. So it's a very simple message, but it's quite powerful, I think.
Everyone's treated equal. It's that simple. Doesn't matter sex, religion, anything. My name's Aaron. I play cricket at One Turner South Cricket Club. Lived in Knox all my life. 20 years ago, when I was growing up, it was you're tough. You don't show that you're hurt. You don't, all this sort of stuff. Where I think these days we're starting to be a bit more smart. It was a course by EDVOS called the 3 R's. It was at Knox Council. Going into it, I thought we'd put a poster up on the wall. You'd sort of go, hey, look, don't worry about him. This is like, but they taught you the proper techniques for it to be safe for the woman to sort of say, right, I've got options. I can be safe if I want to be. Like, I didn't even know about EDVOS. I didn't even know about them, to be honest with you. And I went there and learnt not only about them, I learned about isolation, how men can move the family away from other family members and sort of away from friends and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't aware of that side of the domestic violence, to be honest, and that really opened my eyes up to that sort of stuff as well. With women being more involved in sport, I think the women's cricket team at the moment absolutely dominating the Big Bash League, women's AFL, Ash Barty, Michelle Payne. There's all these things that are coming that are getting more media coverage too, I think, that helps. I didn't go in there expecting to be thinking more about it after it, but it's really done a good thing for me, I believe, yeah, so.
I would like them to get to the point that they feel limitless, that choices are theirs, whatever they choose to do.
So my name's Adam, I'm the Assistant Principal at Listerfield Primary School.
I'm Suzanne Stokel and I'm a grade 5-6 teacher and a wellbeing leader.
The Resilience, Rights and Respectful Relationships program is really about building those positive gender identity and relationships, because it's been proven that if we don't do that, in the long run, it's one of the things that contributes to family violence that is based on gender.
So we've had parent information nights, so they've come and we've talked about what we cover and we've given them opportunity to discuss it with us and why it's really important for them, because what we want is for every child to have equal rights and feel that they're free to express themselves as individuals and be who they are, irrespective of their gender.
The sporting choices boys and girls make at Listonville Primary School have in the past been quite traditional. Boys play footy and cricket, girls might play netball, and then there's a bit of crossover with something like basketball. But what we're seeing now is that we've had school teams, we've had a girls rugby team, we've had a girls AFL team, we've had boys playing netball. So those things may not have happened 3 or 4 years ago because they would have thought that that's not what boys do or that's not what girls do.
We've also had 2 particular PDs for our own staff around those topics when they've come to teach it, so that they feel supported by us and prepared to teach it in the best possible manner. Kids themselves are becoming a lot more aware of it too, and the language, and they will pull each other up, or if they hear something they'll say, well, that's not okay. So that's what's really great for us, that we're seeing already the impact on them. If you see something happening in the yard that's not okay, what can you do? Because we've all identified we do see things, but everyone freezes, they don't know how to deal with it. Because we might see a lot as a bystander, but we don't have the skills of how to, we don't have the courage and we don't know exactly how to go about it. And that's what we want to teach them.
And I think because we're only a couple of years into it, it's the kind of thing that the benefits that we'll really see will be when our students who are now in grade 1, who have been part of this program in prep and grade 1, that by the time they get to grade 6 it will be vastly different.
And that's how you express yourself, but even going forward into their, high school and careers and what they want to do, you shouldn't feel limited by your gender.
Certain stereotypes and gender types aren't always right. You don't have to fit into that norm, and what is the norm for everybody? Hi, my name is Vanessa Murdoch. I'm a proud Cullally Waka Waka Gubby Gubby woman. I'm the Aboriginal Health Promotion Officer at each, and I work with schools and early years around cultural inclusion and about the importance of gender equality around those topics. My Aboriginal Small Grants project, that is with early years in schools, and that's around creating awareness within their environment of implementing culture, and it can be through a range of elements, whether it be through having someone come in, an elder or dancers or an artist coming in to do an art workshop or create a lovely art mural for their space. I get a lot of people saying we don't want to do the wrong thing by Aboriginal people or teach the wrong thing about our culture, and I also see all of them thriving in that area now, and that makes me feel like, I'm doing my job well, and just building those relationships. And I think that's what it's all about, is about trust and relationship building. And once you start having that, everything starts to fall in place, and I think people become more appreciative and eager to learn and wanting to do more in that space of cultural inclusion. The Hoodie program was a 10-week program around developing leadership skills and around the importance of self-respect as a woman, the young Aboriginal women that participated in that program, to be proud of who they are. But I see the shy young youth, and then by the end of the program, they're so confident, they feel proud to say they're Aboriginal. The impacts of these programs help them to develop these skills, to be able to say, I'm a proud Aboriginal young man or woman, and just that leadership role that they are taking within their environment, whether it's in school, their local community or at home. And I think that's what makes me so happy with the work I do, being a proud Aboriginal myself. They're going to be our future leaders, our future elders, and they all got great potential to succeed in whatever they want to see. And I think that's just a great achievement.
My fear is the way young people lose their creativity and their spark. The system that beats it out of them. And one of the things I say to the girls is part of my job is to get the adults at every wage. My name is Mark Glazebrook and I'm the co-founder of Girls and Vet. So Girls and Vet started in 2015, mainly out of a conversation with my own teenage daughter. She said to me, Dad, how come most inventors are men? Whereas we kind of know more of the Zuckerbergs and the Gates. But for a whole lot of reasons, some of it, societal and media, we don't tend not to celebrate women who are innovators, and that sends the wrong message to young women. Almost without exception, every girl is engaged. It might take them a little while to sort of warm up and come up with their own ideas, but they always pretty much get there. I've only had one girl out of 3,500 who just couldn't come up with something. But interesting, at the end she did. Inventing, what we tell the girls is everything from fun, cool stuff to stuff that you can't take for granted. So we've had girls who love tennis and they've come up with a device to help with scoring. We've had girls who come up with a roll-on band-aid type device to make things more convenient for parents and kids to put band-aids on. Had lots of app ideas, social enterprises, and the girls tend to then mostly take it on beyond the program. So the tennis product, it's got a catchy name, Score Buddies. Channel 9 found out about it and they featured that, which then led to offers of support. So we've had Tennis Australia working with the girls. One of our partners is a law firm called Shelston IP, and they provided pro bono support with patents. So that's a costly exercise. They believe in what we're trying to do, so the girls have now got a patent in Australia and the US. Thanks very much. Although we operate in 150 schools across Australia, we are a Knox-based initiative, and I think the Knox community can do amazing things and show other communities what can be done.